still popular, and so it is sad when one of the members passes away, because that group will never be the same.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, basically, that's the end of the group, which is really unfortunate.
Yes. So
it was the same. It was the same when Freddie Mercury died. That was the end of Queen.
Yeah, pretty much, huh?
Yep.
And even though the Beatles hadn't recorded together for decades, when John Lennon died, that brought finality to that split.
Yeah.
Everybody was hoping and dreaming that maybe they might do something together again one day. And then John died, and of course George passed away, and so that was the end.
Yeah. Oh, Craig.
Nobody likes Ringo, and everybody loves Paul. So.
Wait a minute. I like Ringo. Come on, I liked Ringo.
Ringo is an ass. An absolute.
That's why I like him. Okay, I relate to him. Okay, do you mind? Mind if I relate to the ass? All right. Well, anyway, I always thought though that if Paul and I were friends, we'd have been mates. I think he would have gotten me. But my buddy Craig, he just chimed in. He said they credit Mike Nesmith as the inventor of music videos, and sold some rights to MTV so they could do it.
Well, in fact. Mike Nesmith has been behind the scenes producing and directing and developing all sorts of things in the music and entertainment industry since he left the group. And an interesting note, his mother invented liquid paper.
Oh, I read that. Yeah.
And became quite wealthy.
Well, you're talking about whiteout, right?
Yeah, it was called liquid paper.
You're right. Yeah, liquid paper. Whiteout.
And of course that was a product that until the development of the computers and word processors, liquid paper was in every office in the world. And my understanding is she developed that at her kitchen stove.
Really?
We called it Tipex.
Huh.
Is that right? That was the proper British term for it?
That's what it was sold as here, yeah, Tipex.
But she sold that business just before she died for upwards of $60 million, and Michael inherited a good sum from her after she passed away, and many people have often assumed that he just kind of, after he inherited his millions, he just kind of stopped. That's not the truth. If you do a Google search on Michael Nesmith, you'll find accomplishments and things that he's involved in up till today.
Oh yeah, he's still active. He didn't just decide to kick back on his royalties or whatever.
So,
of course, a lot of those guys got ripped off of the royalties anyway.
Sure. But the show was, when I think of the show, I think back to my childhood and think about watching that show and always enjoying it. And it is fond
memories.
After talking about Davy Jones last week,
mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure that I had talked about him or thought about him
mm-hmm.
for quite a while until
mm-hmm.
Susan brought him up.
Yeah,
but then after she talked about him, and then less than a week later he passes away, I was stunned.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it just seems so peculiar. I don't believe in coincidences or anything like that. I just thought that was just bizarre and sadly bizarre. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm getting your messages, Craig, and I'm glad you're listening. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate the support. Craig's an old friend of mine from way, way back. We went to high school together and got in a lot of trouble together and got out of a lot of trouble together. And anyway, that's it. Now, this is the amazing thing to me about Facebook. I mean, because I didn't like Facebook when I first, got into it. I don't know, 3 years ago. I signed up and I never did nothing with it at all. Wasn't interested. And then I guess about 2 years ago, I actually heard from somebody I'd known in high school. I forget who it was, or it might have been like Jeff Cole or somebody. One of the guys I used to hang out with, or was in a band with, or something like that. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I'm starting to catch up with people, and I'm starting to look for Craig. I'm looking all over. I can't find him. I'm like, oh, man, I can't find him. And then all of a sudden I run into our mutual friend Greg, and Greg's like, yeah, Rose is on. I'm like, where? How do I find him? And I found him, and I was like, dude, it's been 30 years. And so as a result of that, I kind of like got interested in Facebook more because I've been able to use it for catching up with all kind of people. And, in turn, when I love and caring sharing's on, boom, they start typing in. I love that. That's kind of fun. But, it was definitely a sad week. And what's this here? I read they picked Mike as one of the monkeys because the way he came in with the beanie in the summer. Oh, that's right. I remember that. And how odd it was that wasn't part of the monkeys, the beanie. Was him.
Well, but he wore that. That was his signature trademark.
Right, yeah.
You never saw him on television or in any other any of their shows or anytime they were together when he wasn't wearing his little toboggan.
Yeah. It was like broiling hot. He's wearing that ski cap. I'm like, what is that about?
Yeah. It was his trademark.
Yeah. And in the movie that they did called Head, that was really. Have you ever seen the movie Head?
No, I haven't. And in fact, reading back on the things that these guys did, even afterward, made me think, boy, I've got to start finding some of these movies and seeing what all happened.
Yeah, Head was bizarre. It starts off with no credits. It just dumps you in the movie, and there's some really off the wall things about it. Like when they would be filming the Monkees television program. The producers created this large room for them. They called it the box. It was this big room, and they go there and they hang out. And that's where they wanted to keep them. And they had a different light color for each one of the members of the group because oftentimes they filmed them separately. They didn't have them all together. And so a green light would go on, and that'd mean Peter Tork would go out. A blue light would go on, Davy Jones would go out. A red light would go on, and then Mike Nesmith and so on. And they called it the box. And they put this box as a tongue-in-cheek gesture to the producers of the Monkees, and kind of a mocking gesture, because they throughout the movie are trapped in the box. And then of course they have all these different bizarre interactions with people. It gets wilder and wilder and weirder and weirder. And at one point, Frank Zappa comes walking across a moving lot. Well, I think it's Davy Jones, Peter Tork, whatever. One of them's like coming across, and he bumps him, and Frank is walking a cow. He's got a Guernsey cow with a rope around it, and he's walking this cow, and he stops and he tells him something for like a minute, and then walks off. It's just really, that was so Frank too, because he was nuts. And I loved him for that. Just off the wall crazy stuff. But if you never saw Head, you should do it just for the nostalgia, if nothing else. It's very very apropos, especially I guess at this time. So, any other trivia on the Monkees in there on your notes there, Steve?
I don't have anything else. I'm sure I'll think of other things, a wide variety of things later. But truly a sad week in that regard, and kind of another icon of my early adolescent years that is gone, and gone too soon.
Yeah, definitely, exactly. Yeah, I always wanted to go to the Monkey Museum. I've never been to it. It's right here in Pennsylvania, and I never went. Now I'm going to go there and I'm going to be all the sadder because he won't be there to say hi.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, all right. Well, so that's the beginning of the news for this week, sort of. What was that, on Wednesday or Tuesday?
That was on Wednesday. Right. He passed away on Wednesday morning.
Right. And they what, said heart attack?
Evidently, he had a massive heart attack, and evidently, from some of the reports that I've read, he had it in his sleep.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're going to go, that's the way to do it.
Sure.
Thank God for small mercies.
Sure, that's exactly right.
Yeah, I figure for me it'll be like a cement truck head on, some stupid thing like that. I'm changing the and trying to light a cigar, and all of a sudden I look up, and all I hear is, wah, and that's it. Oh, hi, Lord. What were you doing? I could just hear him. What were you doing? I was trying to light my cigar. Yeah, I know what you're doing. It's a good thing I knew you were coming. Anyway, so that was.
By the way, here's this big box of Cubans.
Yeah. Here. By the way, Bill, Tyler, if you guys got something you want to say, you can just chime right in. You don't have to sit there and wait for me to point to you and go, okay, talk. And I mean, really, feel free to just interrupt. Don't Don't be shy.
Well, I was instructed to only speak when spoken to.
Yeah, but that was your dad, and he's not here, so we're going to get away with murder tonight, buddy. All right. You copy?
Hey,
Yeah,
and I ain't shy.
Yeah, he's like nodding up at that. Typical teenage. He's on the radio. I ask him a question, he nods his head. He doesn't answer. He just,
No, I'm not used to being on the radio.
Yeah, well, you are now. You know, now you got something. I wasn't on the radio at 14. Were you on the radio at 14 or 15? No, nobody was. None of us. Well, Daniel was.
I was. Yeah, actually.
Daniel was born on the radio. That doesn't count. So
I sang on the radio when I was 15, but
really?
Yeah, but that was it. Yeah.
I read the news on Pennine Radio when I was 12.
Really? Jeez,
yeah.
Here's ahead of me. Huh.
Yeah, I was invited to. I wanted to go. I wanted to meet Paul Cook, who was
the singer.
No. He was a sort of local celebrity on our local radio.
Oh, okay.
And I sort of liked him. I liked the way he presented things and whatnot. And I wrote into the studio and I asked if I could go and meet him. And after drama school,
right,
one Saturday morning, I went, and Pennine Radio was just round the corner from drama school anyway. So I just nipped out, wandered round the corner, went into Pennine Radio studios. And he shoved a news script in front of me, and I actually read the news live on air. I was 12 years old.
Really?
Wow.
Wow. I don't suppose there's a recording of that somewhere.
I haven't got a recording, but I'm sure they've got it in the archives.
Really? You should go find that thing. I'd be interested in hearing that.
I was also on a television program when I was 9 years old called Calendar Kids.
Really?
I won a Mickey Mouse competition. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
It surprised me. You come out with this stuff.
Hey?
Unbelievable.
It was 1977. It was, wasn't it Mickey Mouse's 30th birthday or something in 77?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I was on Calendar Kids. It was filmed on March the 22nd, 77, I think.
Huh.
Which I remember because it was my dad's birthday.
How about that? Wow.
And won a competition for the school that I was representing.
You're a poet and I didn't know it. How about that?
Absolutely.
So his dad is Mickey Mouse. Am I getting this right?
Yes. Yeah, you're pretty close. Yeah, the British version, but yeah.
I am a Marine, so you got to spell it out.
Yes, you are. Semper Fi.
It was just a television program, a local news television program that lasted half an hour that I happened to be on, and I just won a Mickey Mouse competition by mimicking Donald Duck, which I cannot do anymore.
Really?
Really?
That video.
Really.
Find that video.
Well, actually, I rang ITV Archives and asked them if they had a copy, and they said no, they don't have a copy of it anymore. They ditched them.
What is with people? People don't have any sense of sentimentalism anymore.
Well, I should have asked for a copy, when I was 9 years old, but being 9 years old, I didn't think.
Yeah, well, who would have thought of that? I wouldn't think of that. I'd be nervous enough just being on the thing.
But it was funny when it was aired on the Saturday. I mean, it was filmed on the Wednesday and it was aired on the Saturday. We had an absolute house full of mother's churchy friends that was sat there watching me on television. I could have cringed.
Sure, that's big stuff. That's big stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a sad week losing Davy Jones. We'll miss you, Davy. And what else is going on? We had some really bad weather storms blow through. What's going on with that?
Here in the United States, we have had literally a swarm of tornadoes all week long. Covering much of the midsection of the U.S. Today, there were several tornadoes in Indiana. Today. And 4 people were killed during the onslaught of that. Oh. At least 4 people. But we've had tornadoes this week in Tennessee, in Alabama, in Missouri, in Illinois, in Kansas, and in Kentucky. So there